Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So today we're looking at the fourth chapter of this book, Perfect Question, Perfect Answers. Just to give a short summary overview of what we have seen so far. First chapter, Bob Cohen asked very wonderful questions about Krishna, who is Krishna, definition of Krishna and everything. Chapter 2, Bob asked questions about practicality of practicing Krishna consciousness, Krishna conscious lifestyle, how is it to be maintained, its purpose. Chapter 3, he asked questions about the goal of life. Specifically, he asked what is a soul, what is super soul, right? And what is the ultimate goal, which is to please Krishna. And the most important question, how to please Krishna, which is Srila Prabhupada answers and long discussion goes on about Guru. Now we are on chapter 4, which he has a questions about the three modes of material nature. So this is still the second day. Let us read on. Bob asked a question. I have read that in life there are three gunas, or three modes of material nature: passion, ignorance, and goodness. I was wishing that you would explain this somewhat, especially what is it meant by the mode of ignorance and the mode of goodness. Srila Prabhupada answers, in goodness you can understand things, there is knowledge. The symptom of goodness is knowledge. Now in Bhagavad Gita, chapters 16, 17, 18, they all contain about knowledge about these three modes of material nature. You can know that there is God, that this world was created by him, and so many things, actual things. The sun is this, the moon is this, perfect knowledge. If one has some knowledge, even though it may be not perfect, that is goodness. So knowledge is a quality of goodness. Mode of goodness means it is governed by knowledge. And in passion, one identifies with his material body and tries to gratify his senses. That is passion. Passion means desire for enjoyment. And ignorance is animal life. In ignorance, one does not know what is God, how to become happy, why we are in this world. For example, if you take an animal to the slaughterhouse, it will go willingly. That is ignorance, right? But a man will protest. If a goat is to be killed after 5 minutes, but if you give it a morsel of grass, it will be happy because it is eating. That is ignorance. So ignorance means foolish about our existence, do not know why we are living, where we are going, why we exist, why are we suffering, although I don't want to suffer, right? Where is eternal happiness? Why am I put into an awkward position? Why am I forced by material nature to become old and get diseased? So if a person does not think all this, just simply living life, living and dying, living and leaving, right? Then there is the mode of ignorance, just like animals. So Bob then questions, being in these modes determines your karma? Is that correct? Is this modes and karma, is that correct? Prabhupada says, yes. According to the association of the modes of nature, your activities are being contaminated. Karanam gunasangosya sat asat joni janmasu. A man gets a higher birth or a lower birth according to the association of the gunas or the modes of material nature. So basically, if we are connected to the mode of goodness, then naturally we live a life of goodness, activities will be in goodness. And what is the promotion of someone who's in goodness? They'll go to higher planets. If we live a life of passion, right, activities in the mode of passion, what is the result of a person living a life in passion? Gets birth in this material worlds, right? Again, as a mortal. And if a person is in the mode of ignorance, doing ignorance activities, nonsense activities, do not know the aim and goal of life. So after that, what is the destination of a person in ignorance? He goes into lower species. Like that. So modes and karma, or modes and action, or modes and reaction has a relationship. So then Bob asked, so cheating and things like that, what mode is that? Prabhupada says cheating is mixed passion and ignorance. So here in Bhagavad Gita also this concept of modes is explained by Krishna, that the modes are generally not found to be pure, not only goodness, not only passion. Predominantly maybe passion, but many times it is always mixed in this world. Therefore, no one is ever pure goodness also in this material world. Goodness may be prominent, but always there's a ignorance and passion in it, which we have to always keep trying to push out. So Prabhupada says cheating tendencies, passion and ignorance. Why? Prabhupada explains, suppose one man cheats another. That means he wants to obtain something. He is passionate. That's why he's cheating. But if he commits murder, he does not know that he will have to suffer for it. So it is a mixture of passion and ignorance, foolishness. right? That you're cheating someone, what you're going to get back in future, you don't realize it. Then Bob asked a question. What about when someone helps another person? Robert said, that is goodness. Bob says, why is that goodness? You said that goodness is when you have knowledge. So helping someone represents knowledge or what? Very nice question he asked. You said goodness means knowledge. Helping, where is the knowledge in that? Then Prabhupada says, okay, if he is ignorant and you are trying to enlighten him, that is goodness, right? If a person is foolish and you're trying to help him, right, by giving knowledge, that is goodness. So Bob says, giving knowledge is goodness. Prabhupada says, yes. And what about just giving assistance? Prabhupada says, that is also goodness. Prabhupada says, just helping someone physically. Or... So Bob asked, if a beggar has nothing and you give him alms, that means give him donation, Prabhupada says, that may still be in goodness. Okay, Prabhupada says, that may still be in goodness. Why? So Prabhupada gives an example. But in your Bowery Street, this is the place in New York, right? Where Prabhupada was initially when Prabhupada came there and preached. Whoa, horrible slum area of New York. But in your Bowery Street, they give someone charity and immediately he purchases a bottle of wine and drinks and lies down flat. Oh, everyone laughs. So that is charity, but that is not goodness. That is ignorance. So here Prabhupada says, generally when you help people, that is goodness. But even in helping a person, if you go down deeper, it can be further divided into goodness, passion, and ignorance again. In general, helping someone shows that you have some goodness. But is it all goodness or is it tinged with something? So Bhagavad Gita speaks about how charity can be given in 3 modes, which is going to be explained up. Bob says, charity can be ignorance. Prabhupada says, there are 3 kinds of charity: in goodness, passion, and ignorance. Charity in the mode of goodness means when charity, where giving charity where charity must be given. So these references I'm going to show you here in the verses. This is 17th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, verse 20, where it's explained that charity of mode of goodness is given out of duty, without expectation of return, given at a proper time, proper place to a worthy person. That is considered goodness. So Prabhupada says, just like this Krishna conscious movement, if anyone gives charity to this movement, that is charity in goodness because it is spreading God consciousness, Krishna consciousness. That is charity in goodness. Then Prabhupada says, if someone gives charity for some return, expecting something, that is charity in passion. So let us see the definition in Bhagavad Gita 17.21. Charity performed with the expectation of some return, or with a desire for fruitive results, or in a grudging mood, is to be said to mode of passion. Then Prabhupada continues, if someone gives charity at an improper place, improper time, without respect to an unworthy person, just like that Bowery's man, that is charity in ignorance. So the verse in Bhagavad Gita 17.22, impure place, improper time, unworthy person, without proper attention, without proper respect, right? That is the mode of ignorance. So charity, also giving alms, may be good, helping others, but is it proper in goodness, proper in passion, or proper in ignorance, we can say. But Prabhupada says, Krishna says in general, yat karosi, yat ashnasi, yat juhosi, dadasi yat. This is Bhagavad Gita 9 chapter 27th verse. Whatever you do, yat karoshi, whatever you eat, yat ashnasi, whatever you give or offer away, yat juhosi, dadasi yat, whatever austerities you perform, yat tapasyasi, do as an offering to me. Mat kurusva arpanam. If Krishna takes your offering, that is a perfection of your charity. So here Prabhupada is driving the point that everything actually we should do with Krishna in the middle, Krishna in the center. Or anyone who is a representative of Krishna. If he takes it, that is perfection. So then Bob goes on, what kind of charity is it when you give food to someone who is hungry? So Prabhupada says that depends on the circumstance. So it's not so black and white, no? For example, if a doctor has forbidden his patient to take any solid food, and if the patient is asking, give me some solids, give me some solids, and if you give him solid in charity, then you are not doing good to him. That is ignorance, right? Because that's not good for the person. So the act may be the same, but one has to see the circumstance, the purpose, the condition, right? Is it benefiting? Is it not benefiting? So it's not so black and white. Then Bob thinks very interesting, right? So are the devotees beyond accumulating karma? Because again, we read in the introduction, Bob is also engaged in, doing some welfare work, serving food and all to the victims of the Indo-Pakistan war, when there's a division, Bangladesh was being formed, East Pakistan. These devotees, do they feel karma? Do they work in these modes? Are they in the mode of goodness? Srila Prabhupada says they are above goodness, above the three modes. Teen gun atit. Prabhupada says Shuddha Sattva. The devotees are not in this material world. They are in the spiritual world. So why Prabhupada is saying this? Because any activity that is connected to Krishna is beyond the modes. Even mode of goodness is still material mode. So we are eating prasadam. Is it activity in goodness? No. It is activity in Shuddha Sattva, pure goodness. It is spiritual. We are going out and helping people, connecting them to Krishna. Is it goodness? No. It is beyond goodness. It is Shuddha Sattva because it's connected to Krishna. So activities may look the same, look ordinary, look simple, but actually it is devotional. So devotion is beyond the three modes. Many people ask for charity. We also ask for charity. But the money given for Krishna consciousness is devotional. It is not just pious. Piety, punya, pious is still in the material modes, right? Punya and papam. Therefore, bhakti or Hare Krishna or Krishna consciousness, bhakti is actually beyond papa and punya, beyond beyond piety and sin. It is transcendental. So Prabhupada quotes Bhagavad Gita here. Mam chayo vyabhichare na bhakti yoge na sevate sagunan samatityaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. If one engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature. Here see, Krishna promises that if one is full in bhakti, devotional service, right, one transcends material modes and thus comes to the level of Brahman, spiritual platform. Devotees are neither in goodness, passion, nor ignorance. They are transcendental to all these qualities. Then Bob continues. A devotee who is very faithful reaches this stage. Prabhupada says, yes, you can become a devotee as they have become, Prabhupada saying to his disciples. It is not difficult. Simply you have to engage yourself in transcendental loving service of the Lord. That's all. Bob thinks about it. What is the status of service minus devotion? Prabhupada says, Bob asks, how about I like to serve, I want to help others, I want to seek for the welfare of others, I want to make sure that everyone is doing good, I want to do my part, but I don't have any devotion, no devotional link. Service minus devotion. What about that? Prabhupada, brilliant answer. Prabhupada says, that is not service. Service without devotion, that is business. Everyone laughs. Prabhupada says, for example, here in Mayapur, we have employed a contractor. That is not service, that is business, is it not? Sometimes they will advertise, our customers are our masters, right? Is it not? We have seen this also sometimes in restaurants and hotels, they say the customer is always right. Or and sometimes in education institution, like I remember when I was lecturing in our university, so sometimes in our meetings, they will say, after all, students are our customers. We have to take care of the students because students are our customers. They are paying our salaries. What? That doesn't make sense. So anyway, Prabhupada says, but in spite of flowery language, our customers are our masters. This is business because nobody is a qualified customer unless he pays. But service is not like that. Seva is not like that. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu prays in Shikshastakam, Yata tatava vidadatu lampato mat prana natas tusa eva naparaha. My Lord, you do whatever you like, but still you're my worshipable Lord. That means, oh Krishna, if you kick me, Krishna, if you embrace me, Krishna, if you just don't talk to me or you even love me, whatever the condition, I will always love you and serve you because you are the master of my life. That is service. I do not ask any return from you. That is service. When you expect some return, that is business. Bob says, I wish to gain more knowledge of God and be able to feel God's presence more. I feel life has little meaning without this. Now, without Krishna consciousness, without direction, there's no meaning to life actually. Everyone is just living and leaving. Srila Prabhupada says, yes, if you misuse this human form of life, then it is a great loss. Human life is a great chance given to the living entity to get out of entanglement of material existence. Bob starts to, his heart softens. He feels, I feel thankful that I have been able to ask these questions. Srila Prabhupada goes on, yes, you can learn more and more. Questions and answers are required. They are beneficial to all. Sutta Goswami says, now Prabhupada quotes Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, second chapter, fifth verse. Munaya sadhu prashtoham bhavadbir loka mangalam yatkrita krishna samprashno yenatma suprasidati. O sages, I have been justly questioned by you. So here Sutta Goswami is speaking to the sages of Naimisharanya. Your questions are worthy because they relate to Krishna. Yat krita Krishna samprashno. And so are relevant to the world's welfare. Loka mangalam. Only questions of this sort are capable of completely satisfying the self. Yenatma suprasidati. So questions about Krishna are very good. When you discuss and hear about Krishna, that is Loka Mangalam, auspicious for everyone. Both the questions and the answers. So therefore, this perfect question, perfect answer book is quite very famous, like I said before in ISKCON, because of beautiful direct questions and wonderful answers by Srila Prabhupada. Bob shares, I am attracted to devotional life, but I still have my connections at home. Marriage is, I'm engaged, he's saying. So he was thinking that you have to give up everything. That is devotion life. Prabhupada said, no, 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 no. There are so many marriages. He points to Sham Sundar, who's that time married. He is married. Marriage is no barrier. I told you that there are 4 orders of spiritual life. This was in the last chapter we saw. Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas. So after Brahmachari life, that means, the current stage that he is in, one can marry, although it is not obligatory, it's not a must. One may remain Naishtika Brahmachari, unmarried for his whole life. But a Brahmachari may marry. That is called a Upakurvana Brahmachari. Brahmachari who decides to marry. And after marriage, there is Vanaprastha life. After Grihastha life, there is Vanaprastha life. This means that one is a little aloof from family. The Vanaprastha is like a little aloof within the family, but not directly dealing with the family affairs. He's focused on his own bhajan. The husband and wife live separately, right? At that time, there is no sex life. So basically, in all the 4 ashrams, Brahmachari, there's no sex life, right? Grihastha, there is a license allowed sex life just for children. Vanaprastha, no sex life. Sannyasi, no sex life, right? Then when he is fully renounced, detached from family life, he can take sannyas. Bob says, does the sannyasi forget his wife completely? So he's thinking, after you married so long, you practice some detachment, you live a little separate from the wife. When you're a sannyasi, you don't see a wife and family ever again, right? A sannyasi is allowed to see the children and anyone else in the family except his previous ashram's wife. It means when he was a grahastha, that wife. Sannyasi cannot meet his ex-wife or previous ashram wife. They call it Purva ashram wife. And others he can meet. He can meet his children. He can meet this and that. So he's like, forget her totally? So Srila Prabhupada says, yes, forgetting is not very difficult. If you try to forget, right? If you try to forget, you can forget. Out of sight, out of mind. Srila Prabhupada laughs. As I have my wife, children, grandchildren, everything, but out of sight, out of mind. That's all. And this is very true. One keeps busy in Krishna conscious activities, focus on the mission at hand, focus on the service at hand, absorb oneself in Krishna and Krishna's pastime, and forgetting is not difficult. In this world today, even people who are non-devotees, even people who are not taking up to bhakti, they are forgetting each other's relationship, right? So Srila Prabhupada says, therefore, Vanaprastha, Sannyasa, everything is arranged nicely arranged by the Vedic system. So it's a beautiful progress by which one can systematically develop detachment, right? And come to the perfectional stage of life. This is all possible if one side by side practices bhakti, chanting Hare Krishna, gaining knowledge, hearing especially, and associating with devotees. If one chants, hears Krishna Katha and associates with devotees, one can flow through this track and slowly remove unwanted material desires and come to the perfectional stage of life. So this is chapter 4. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.